Hi, Mark Bossert at Top Local Rankings in Vancouver. We're here talking with Bernie Pawlik, award-winning owner of Pawlik Automotive. They've been voted the best auto repair in Vancouver 11 times in a row. And tonight we're going to talk about what makes a quality brake repair. And gee, that seems like a real good place to start. Bernie, what makes a quality brake repair?
Well, the first thing, Mark, is a thorough inspection of all the brake components. And the second is using quality parts. There are many grades of brake parts available from low to high price. At the very minimum, it's important to use original equipment quality or better. The next part of the equation is in the labor, taking the time to do the job right. And this involves thoroughly cleaning all pad and caliper sliders and cleaning and repacking wheel bearings where applicable. At our shop, we always sandblast rust corrosion off the pad sliders and lube all the contact points, wash and repack wheel bearings where required. Many shops offer quick and cheap brake jobs, but they don't take the time to clean and service these critical areas. And what will happen is the savings will be lost as your brakes wear out quicker.
So I know you're real busy. You guys are hopping busy right now. So and the phone's ringing. How often do brakes need replacement?
Well, this varies greatly from vehicle to vehicle. I've seen brakes on some new vehicles wear out as quickly as 20,000 kilometers. But some brakes will last a long time. I've seen others that last 100 to 200,000 kilometers.
Wow.
So to get this kind of life, it really depends on the vehicle. And it requires a few brake services along the way to kind of help them last for that amount of time.
So some shops charge for a brake inspection and some don't. Why? What's the difference there?
I think it really depends on the business model that the shop set up. I mean, some will do free brake inspections, hoping to sell some brake work. Whereas others, at our shop, we do charge for an inspection. We look at it as we're just looking at the vehicle to see whether it needs work or not, and inspecting the brake system, measuring it out to make sure everything's in good order or whether it needs work. As a customer, there's pros and cons to both. I mean, obviously, free is good, but on the downside, is the shop being fully honest with you? I mean, the way they're getting paid to do the work is by finding some brake work to do. So if they don't find anything, well, the job goes out the door with no pay. Now, there are some shops, to be perfectly honest, that will do that, and that builds goodwill. But I think a lot of places don't, and they'll often oversell a lot of parts. I've seen numerous estimates from brake work, from shops that they suggest a lot of parts that don't need to be replaced, as well as put a high pressure on the customer to do it now, it needs to be done now. So we don't do that kind of thing. We're paid to do the inspection. We have no agenda as to whether we need to do the brakes or not. We're just there to provide you the information as to what the condition of your brakes are.
So what kind of tips would you have for me to maximize the life of my brakes?
Well, there's a few. First, have your brakes inspected on an annual basis and have any repairs or services performed as needed. Second, if you have a standard transmission vehicle, it's good to gear down and use the engine for your braking. This can make your brakes last considerably longer. And most standard transmission vehicles, the brakes do last a lot longer than an automatic because it's just less drag on the brakes. Also, pumping your brakes is hugely important, especially if you're going down hills. Pump the brakes. Brakes work by dissipating heat, and if you keep the brakes held on, they get very hot. So, pumping the brakes lets them cool down. Even if you pump them rapidly, they cool down quite quickly, and it helps preserve the life of the pads and the rotors. The other thing too is just when you drive, brake early. Don't just come up flying up to a stop sign and pound on the brakes. I mean, that wears them out really fast. Save your hard stops for emergencies. That's basically it.
Right. Is there any other things you'd like to add, just kind of at the end here, Bernie?
I think that just about covers it. Nothing more to say. We'll do another talk and get more in depth on brakes.
Awesome. So we've been talking with Bernie Pawlik at PawlikAutomotive.com. You can reach them at 604-327-7112. As you just heard, there's lots of folks calling them. They're smoking busy. But get in there. Get your brakes looked after, PawlikAutomotive.com. 604-327-7112. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Mark. Talk to you then.